Hey guys, how you doing today? I want to show you, this is the first plant that I purchased for the new year. We went shopping the day after New Year's and they had this beautiful fern, and I have been looking for one of these for about a year or so now. This is a crocodile fern and she is gorgeous and she's in pretty good shape. I got her at Walmart here in Ohio. She came in this ceramic pot, which I really like this pot for a ceramic pot because it's got this cute little, it doesn't actually have a hole in it, but it's got this cute little drainage dish. But anyways, kind of different from the other ones that I have. I'm going to put her down on the floor. You can see she is in a small pot. I'm going to back my camera up here a little bit. There we go. She's in about a 3-inch pot. And I think well, this is from a company called Wild Interiors Signature Collection. Here, I'll take this. It's a wooden tag. It's really neat looking. The directions on this says medium light to partial shade, water weekly so that the top inch of the soil is damp, allowed to dry between waterings. Okay, that sort of does not make any sense. Room temperature between 65 and 85. Wild Interiors. Learn more at wildinteriors.com. Well, to me that makes no sense. Water weekly so that the top inch of soil is damp, but allowed to dry between waterings. Junk. Okay. So anyhow, this is in about a 3-inch pot. And I'm going to tell you how to correctly take care of a fern. The ferns like to stay moist. They don't want to be soggy, and they don't want to dry out. What you want to do is, they are correct on the first part that they said. When the top, stick your finger down, when about the top inch of the soil gets dry, you want to go ahead and water her thoroughly again, because they don't like to dry out, and they do like to have humidity, and you don't want them by a drafty door, any place where hot air is going to be on. Look how beautiful these leaves are. I love this plant. I'm so happy I found one. But anyways, what I'm going to be doing today is repotting her. I like to get my new plants out of the soil that they came in as quickly as I can. I already sprayed her down with a little bit of neem oil to bring her in with the rest of my plants, because I did not have time. Obviously it was New Year's and we were busy. So I went ahead and I sprayed her down with neem and watered her because she was sort of dry at the store, and I bagged her all up really good to take her out to my car. So anyhow, I am going to be putting her in this container. Now this is, let me put her over here. This is just a ceramic container. It's one that my mom gave me. I love it. It's like a marbly brown. I love browns. But it does not have, let's see if I can turn this upside down without spilling. It doesn't have graded holes. These here that you're seeing are just little sliders so the pot don't slide around. But what I'm going to do is, I already did it. I put lava rock, big pieces of lava rock down on the bottom of my pot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, okay, I got my pot up a little bit higher so you guys can see. What I want to do is, I've got my pot layered with my rocks, because I'm going to pot her directly into this pot. But what I want to do is, I got a piece of, this is a piece of cocoa coir basket that I bought. But what I want to do is, I'm going to kind of take half my halfway point. And this was already cut in half because I use this to make my moss poles and stuff for my other plants. And I'm just going to gently rip her down in half here. Kind of like this. And then I'm going to put it down in here. That looks pretty good. I want it to kind of go along the sides. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along here. I may have to get different scissors. I don't know. We'll see here. I'm just going to cut around. I love using my cocoa coir lining baskets to put in with my ferns. I have this also in like my bird nest fern. And it kind of helps keep hold the moisture. And then I will save this because I can use this that I cut off to make moss poles for another project. Okay, that side looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this all the way around. I should have got my other, yeah, they're not in here. If my other scissors are, well, God only knows where they are. But I'm tucking it, I'm kind of tucking it in here a little bit. There. Now this will all kind of slide in like this. There. See how I'm doing that? Easy peasy. And then I'll put my soil in here. And then the rocks, any extra water that the soil doesn't soak up, it will drip down under the lava rock. And then I can let it sit for a little bit, and then I can go ahead and just kind of hold on to my plant. And it's got a little hole right here. I don't know why, but it does. It's only one. I kind of wish I had three, because then I could hang it up. You know, just hook it up and hang it up. And then I can just kind of go like this and dump that excess water out that will be sitting under my lava rock. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is, let me move this. Get this out of the way. I love that little pot. It's so cute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get look at all the little roots. You can see how it's grown down into the pot. I'm going to take off, I've seen a couple of dead leaves. I pulled off a couple the day I brought her home. I'm going to go ahead and take this one off too. I'm just gently pinching them off. Or you can cut them off, whatever you want to do. There's another one. She looks pretty good. Alright. It looks like there might be a baby in here. It's kind of hard to tell. So I'm just going to kind of loosen this up. Now I'm not going to be able to get all of the soil out because the roots are just, you can see them. They are everywhere. They're all over. And she is kind of wet because I gave her a real good soak. But that's okay. I love to water my plants before I do any kind of a repot. It helps them, especially if you have to tear the roots apart, like if you've got an issue, like a bug issue or, you know, what have you. It helps the plant not go into shock. So I always make sure I water them really good before I repot. Okay. I think the cleanup is looking pretty good. And there does seem to be possibly, where did I just see it? A baby, yep, right here. Secondary plant growing out. I'm not taking it off. I will leave it all together. So now I am going to get rid of my pot here, and I'll set her back down here for a minute. Got my pot all ready. So what you want here is ferns like to stay moist. So I have my soil down here. Let me bring you down here so you can see it. It's just soil straight out of my bag. And it's real airy. But I'm not going to put, I'm going to put a little bit of perlite in this, but not a whole lot, because I want her to be able to hold the moisture. So I'm just going to add a little bit. And then I'm not going to go overboard with it. I want it to be airy, but yet I want it to hold the moisture because she is a moisture-loving plant. But yet you don't want it to be sitting in a soggy mess either. So there, that looks pretty decent. I might add just a little bit more. There. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take, because I've got like a split where I split down, where I split my cocoa coir down the middle. There's like a little split down there, so I'm just going to take a small piece of this cocoa coir liner and just kind of lay it down here. And the reason for the lava rock, some of you are probably thinking, well, why didn't you just drill a hole? Well, yes, I have a diamond drill bit, and I could have drilled some holes in the bottom of this pot, but I really didn't want to do that. Later, you know, I may do that, but the lava rocks works really good because it will still go beyond and drip down, and then you can tip it and drain it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and line my pot with my soil mixture, which you want just a little heavier. And then I'm going to put her down here. Oh, that fits really good. I'm going to get her centered. And then I'm just pushing down a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and line, pull my liner up here. Because I want that liner to stick out a little bit. I like to see it. I just like the looks of it. And I'm just going to keep turning. Pull my liner up. Add a little more soil. These are such beautiful plants. I guess they actually originate from Australia, but they're also found in other tropical areas. Such a beautiful, beautiful plant. They can get really big out in the wild, and they have a potential if you care for them properly. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. That was not exactly on the whole plant. I'm just pushing my soil down And I'm trying to keep a hold of my cocoa coir here also. And then I'm going to leave like a little bit of a gap around the top. And I'll show you why I want to do that. Scoot her over a little bit. She got off center here, which is nothing new for me. I think all my plants are potted crooked. Oh! I don't push too hard. I'm squishing my pot I'm using to hold my other pot up. I need to pull this cocoa liner back up here a little bit. There we go. Oh, I should have found a clay pot. I should have used a clay pot. Alright, that looks pretty good. I think she's all pretty well evenly. Yep, she needs a little bit more right here. There we go. A little bit more right here. Alright, now I'm going to take, this is some different cocoa coir that I had. I had pulled it apart. I don't know why. I think I was using it probably in another project. But I want to just go along and put this along the top. I think that looks so pretty. I love the look of that. Or you could use whatever you want. You could use gravel, rocks. But I like this, especially for fern. It just looks more natural to me. I like it. Oh, don't need quite such a big piece. There we go. Or you could use moss or, you know, whatever you like. Or nothing. It doesn't matter. I just like this look, and I think it looks really pretty with my brown, my beautiful brown marbly pot that my mom gave me, and she is going to have plenty of room to grow out in this for quite some time. Now, I probably won't water her in today. I might go in and give her a small watering. Just enough maybe to get a little bit of water at the bottom of my pot. It'll help hold a little bit of moisture and humidity. And then the cocoa coir around will hold a little bit too. But it's not going to hold a lot, because once it dries out, it dries out. So, but here she is, all potted up in my pretty pot my mom gave me. The beautiful cocoa coir around her. I love this plant. I've been looking, I seen this plant, I forget where it was. It was a couple years ago, and it was really, really small, and I thought, oh, I want that plant, but I didn't want a really tiny one. I mean, it was little. And, oh, here comes a train. Hold on. So yeah, I didn't want just a tiny little itty bitty fern, because I don't have a lot of luck with little itty bitty ferns. And I bought them before, and they just, gosh, you gotta just really keep up on the watering with them. But anyways, I'm happy to get her. In the house, you want a brighter light for this plant. But if you're growing it outside, like say you take it outside in the summertime, you know, she'll want like a medium to shady light, anything dappled. You don't want her out in the sun, obviously. But God, the markings on these leaves are just gorgeous. Absolutely love this plant. It is just so pretty. Look at the markings on this. It really does look like a crocodile or like a snake skin. It's absolutely beautiful. And you want to make sure that, I think the most important part is not to let a fern dry out. You don't want, you know, obviously for it to be soggy. And when it gets down to about the first top inch of soil, I'd go ahead and water it again. And then a bright light in the house growing. And obviously it's a fern, it's going to want humidity. So anywhere close to a humidifier, or at least a room, like here in my plant room, it stays pretty humid all over, so I just put my more humid loving plants right beside my humidifier. But so that's it. It'll be easy care. We'll check up on this plant maybe end of winter, or if I have issues with it or what have you, I will show her again. So that is it. That is a really full side. But hopefully she spreads out and takes off for me. So, alright guys, I am going to let you go, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Peace.